motion to approve the draft 1 of the Town Hall Ordinance 211.1.
I'll second that. Okay, further discussion?
Seeing I'm the one that brought this to the agenda, I would like to speak to these ordinances. So, Mr. Chairman and fellow board members, today the town of Barry has the opportunity to take a simple step to show the values of our town, to show that we are a welcoming community to all who wish to live here. However, my draft of the proposed ordinance, draft 2, must first be adopted to have the ability to raise the pride flag of town hall. Raising the pride flag is a simple act. It would cost no taxpayer dollars in my first proposal to apply additional flags. Yet, in the world for LGBTQ members of our community. Growing up bisexual in a rural part of Wisconsin, I often felt I couldn't be my true self. Unlike most teenagers searching for their high school romance, every time I even contemplated talking to a guy I liked, I had to censor my emotions or risk being outed and viewed by others as other by my classmates. I would later come to learn much of this fear was overblown, that when I finally came to college, I was accepted by my former peers. But what mattered was what I viewed in that moment. While growing up, I was led to believe rural communities like ours weren't accepting of LGBTQ members and children, and that it was safer to hide part of myself. What saddens me is that these fears still exist for LGBTQ youth. Last week, I had the fortunate ability to be part of the Bad Boy State program, run by the American Legion on their volunteer staff. The program invited approximately 700 soon-to-be high school seniors to UW-Eau Claire to learn about leadership and form their own model government. While I was there, I was lead facilitator for the program's LGBTQ discussion forum. The citizens were allowed to speak on whatever they wish, with the facilitators keeping the discussion geared towards the content of the previous night's assembly on identity and leadership. What I heard from many of them was that once the program was completed, and they would return to their communities, and once again have to hire part of themselves. They are often at a loss when asked if they knew of ways to make their communities more welcoming. I have no doubt the current news from across the nation on restrictions being placed on LGBTQ youth weighs heavy on their minds. I wouldn't blame any of them for potentially being hopeless coming into Bad Boy State. And I pray that the program gave them a reason to hope for themselves and for their futures. We have an opportunity today to take one simple step toward making the town of Barry even more welcoming. However, draft 1 of the proposed ordinance would deny this opportunity. Draft 1 highly restricts the town's ability to display flags and limits us to only the United States flag. This draft is blatantly an attempt to block even discussion of my proposed resolution. We can debate the content of the merits of that resolution later, but to deny that debate is slap in the face of members of the LGBTQ community, like myself. I not only use draft 1 flawed because of its potential impact on today's proceedings. The restrictive language of draft 1 would also prevent the town from flying the state of Wisconsin flag, preventing us from displaying the banner of our great state. The POW MIA flag honoring veterans would also be barred. Flying this flag in Ukraine to support the Ukrainian efforts to resist Putin's brutal war also would be barred. In the not too hypothetical future, where China invades Taiwan, displaying the Taiwanese flag would also be barred. Flying the Packers flag if the team wins the Super Bowl, flying the Brewers flag would win the World Series, the Bucks flag, or even the UW Badgers flag. For our national championship women's hockey team, would all be barred. My fellow board members may have also noticed in their meeting packets an attached copy of the Supreme Court's opinion from Shurtleff v. Boston from last summer. I include this decision to contextualize the wording of my draft 2. The town must fully exercise control of which flags fly in its flagpoles to not run afoul of the First Amendment. The city of Boston did not do so, and did not control its flagpole before this case was brought before the Supreme Court, and subsequently changed its policy following it to come into compliance with the decision. My draft ordinance takes their model and applies it to the town of Barry, allowing for thoughtful discussion debate by the town board about which flags can be flown. These considerations are prevented under draft 1, limiting any future activities by the town until the ordinance is revised and repealed. We can prevent these future hassles right now with draft 2's wording by creating a process today for our own proposed resolution today and future resolutions by the town board. Draft 1 is fatally restrictive and flawed. as an ordinance. For all these reasons, I would ask my fellow members to instead adopt draft 2, a proposed draft, and move to consideration of the repairs or purchase of town hall flagpoles, and also considering resolution 2023-3, a resolution by the town board that the rainbow pride flag be flown to Berry Town Hall in recognition of Pride Month. Thank you.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded to display the flag, for flying flags at Town of Berry Hall.
I have a question. Who's responsible for putting the flag up and taking the flag down and making sure it's lit or not too ragged or whatever?
Ms. Brenda.
Brenda, the
I
clerk?
take care of that.
The clerk takes care of it? Okay.
And
And
I
how,
had the honor to put it up before Memorial Day.
so how often do you raise and lower the flag?
Not very often.
So it's mostly just up all the time? And like if there's a fly your flags at half-staff from the governor, do you ever lower it?
We do if we're notified of it. I mean, come knowing about it.
Okay.
Basically, the policy is, this policy of the town board, that the United States flag be displayed in conformance with federal and state regulations as stated on our flag publication, Congress, House document number 96-144, and chapter 1, section 14 of the state statutes. As you heard from Mr. McDonald, and I can't recall that the state flag's ever been flown here either. And quite frankly, the United States flag is the only flag that I'm aware of that's not prejudiced against anybody unless you're in this country illegally or you hate this country and you're from another country. So, and I don't know that we need to fly the state flag as far as I was concerned, because I think you know you're in the state of Wisconsin if you're here. As far as any other flags flying, if you fly any other flags, according to legal counsel, all flags are game. Meaning you have to fly anybody's flag that they want to put up.
Mr. Chairman, I disagree with that language entirely. That was why I included the language of the Supreme Court case, Shirley v. Boston. That was a case that the city of Boston was under before they revised their ordinance. The wording that I proposed does not run afoul of that situation.
Travis, great presentation there. So what I got from the ruling, it seemed like a mess. I mean, that was a long opinion.
It's actually pretty straightforward for a Supreme Court case.
Right, but it turned into a mess so you're promoting this so that we can have the free discussion and debate about each and every flag that gets brought here? Is that kind of the win of this decision?
So what would happen if you approved draft 2, correct? Is that anyone can lobby the board, just like any other piece of legislation. They can come to us, they can talk to us however they should so choose. But in the end, the decision will ultimately remain with the town board. And especially, it's section 5, the very first one. Town flagpoles are not intended to serve as a forum for the free expression of the public. And then the following flag may be displayed by the town as an expression of the town's official sentiments. So this Supreme Court case I attached drew a distinction between public forum and government speech, right? Government speaks, right? When the CDC makes its recommendations on all these things done, the government is speaking. And so what this clearly defines is that anything that's flying on our flagpoles has gone through the town board, been approved, and is not an individual person's views, but is the views of the town board.
Okay. So
And that
would you be for, I'm shooting from the cuff here, the Christian flag? That was one of the examples. That's where the things kind of turned south, is they wouldn't fly the Christian flag.
Yes.
Correct?
because
Okay, so with that, we would have to sit here, it would get put on the agenda, and then we'd have to debate as to whether the Christian flag should fly, and whoever wants it to fly would have to give their presentation just as you did, and we'd make a decision.
Yes.
Okay? So,
However, only
and-
a member of the board can put items on the agenda.
right, so again, So then the next week, it would probably be the Muslim flag, and there's no reason that flag couldn't fly either. Then it could be, who knows what, witchcraft? Would we draw the line there? Would we say, no, that's just a bridge too far? Where would it end? I commend your cause. I have no problem, I respect you. But I did not sign up here to debate political stands or racial views, or if you want to fly whatever flag you want to fly, sports teams, if you want to fly the Bears, go for it. They still, I won't say it. So I'm sorry, Travis, we need, I love the fact that Mr. McDonald, we have better things to do, not discounting your cost, but let's keep it simple. Let's keep with what we know shouldn't be an argument. And that's what we're here to protect our constituents. Otherwise, we're opening ourselves up to our own personal subjectivity and opinions and everything else, in my respectful opinion. That's why I'm supporting draft one.
And the one that's out there covers everybody.
Exactly.
It's not just everybody.
So you don't,
Simple. We don't have to debate it.
we don't need separate. That's my feeling.
Right.
Further discussion? Hearing
Yeah,
none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.